Welcome to the Sheild Within. The issues discussed on the Sheild Within podcast do not reflect the opinions of any specific agency. They are the views of the host and the guest. Any persons discussed may be fictional for comedic purposes only. This podcast is rated explicit and listener discretion is advised. Listening to the Sheild Within may trigger repressed or suppressed memories or experiences. Please contact a mental health professional at your earliest convenience. It's time for the chaos to cease.
Time to open yourself to peace.
From the hours you've put in,
to the next shift you begin.
From the endless pursuit of release
that finds the worst unleashed.
Transform the ugly into a win.
Get to know your shield within.
And everyone, welcome to the Sheild Within. Good Lord, have I been looking forward to this interview. Brad, when did I get a hold of you? Back in the beginning of December?
Yeah, I think it was Black Friday.
Yes, it was. Sail on the Black Days, yeah. So, I bought some books, and he sent me an email, and he's like, hey, dumbass, we got buy two, get one free. Do you want a third? And I'm like, hell yeah. By the way.
Missed the deal.
Can you sign them? Oh, yeah, it's part of the deal. Perfect. So, end up buying some books, laugh my ass off. So, we have comedian Brad Gosse with us. We have FD Donnie's in the house, the Kelly.
Howdy.
And, of course, Dr. David, the voice himself. So, let's do a little bit of business, and then we'll get right into the interview. So, if you're on Facebook, and we know all you bastards are, Facebook.com/Sheild Within, or you can go to our website, which is www.theshieldwithin.com. If you're in need, reach out and punch that coaching button. You can work with Dr. David himself, or you can go to lessonslearnedcoaching.com. And if you got that extra $5 laying around, and instead of letting Shecky come steal it out of your car at night, you can give it to us for $5 a month. So Patreon, patreon.com/Sheild Within. Brad, got some fun stuff for you. How did they buy amazing books? Go ahead, sir.
Sure. Brad, this is David. Nice to meet you, sir. I have been spending some time with a lot of your material online at TikTok, YouTube, and a lot of things that I just found absolutely fascinating. And I got to say, man, this is the first time I've ever had a conversation in my life with a man who makes his life being funny. And it just fascinates me that, you at some point in your life came to this insight, yes, I'm going to make money. I'm going to commit my life to being funny. And I'm just like, how'd that happen? When, where, what was that moment that you had that insight?
It's called a midlife crisis.
Okay. And how old were you when your midlife crisis hit you?
I'm still in it.
You're
Dave,
still in it, okay.
I'm still in it. 51.
It's an ongoing process.
Still in current crisis mode. Send help.
How did things, at whatever age your middle age crisis hit, at that point, were you married?
No, yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay. And did you have children?
No.
Okay.
So none that you were claiming?
We don't get into too much of that because I get a lot of death threats. But I was at the beginning of the crisis. Then got divorced, went through midlife crisis. Like there's a sort of a pattern.
Gotcha.
Of the middle-aged man, gets divorced, buys a Porsche, gets a sugar baby or three.
What kind of Porsche do you have?
Kind of how old are you? How old are you?
34.
No, it's too old for me. It's too old. You can't ride in the Porsche. You don't get to ride in the Porsche.
You are a parent now, true?
Yes.
And their dad does comedy for a living. What's that like to have your children? I mean, do they know what you do? Have they seen your books, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Zero fucks. They don't care. I might as well be. It doesn't matter. You might as well be the garbage man. They don't care what you do.
True.
I'm not impressed. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Yes. That sounds really kind of much par for the course for all children.
Yeah.
Mom and dad, well, they don't really count.
Yeah. I feel like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could have kids and they'd be like, whatever, Dad.
Wow. True story.
Yeah.
Where did you start your journey? Did you do stand up? Did you start writing? Did you go to open mics, comedy clubs, create a shtick? How'd you start?
Well, I just decided that I wanted to do it, and I was an overnight success. No.
Wow. Damn.
No, I wrote.
Here we go.
Wow. That's the first time that's ever happened. No, I wrote a book in 2012, like a kind of business book, and I had a lot of humor in it.
Yeah.
I was in a different kind of world back then. I was in a different business, and I wrote a book, and then I liked writing books. I was like, oh, that's kind of fun, and I liked having a book published. I self-published it, and it became a bestseller, and then I was getting asked to do a lot of talks at different events because of the book being successful.
Okay.
And so I took a stand-up comedy course to kind of improve my public speaking.
Oh my.
And but I always liked it, and it's Second City, right? Here in Toronto, we have Second City.
It's like,
really well.
Where a lot of great comedians come out of there.
Yeah, not just some classified ad in somebody's van. That's my class. You can sign up at bradgosse.com. We do it in the van. It's a Porsche van. That's called a callback, everybody. And then I did my first kind of set in 2012, just as a part of that class. They give you 5 minutes at a club, and I loved it. I was like, this is what I want to do. Then it just kind of, and I knew I always kind of felt like I wanted to do it, but I like my life to be easy. And even in 2012, it wouldn't have been easy. Mm-hmm. Now with social media and all my knowledge, it's easy. So I was just like, okay, I have a path through this to making money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because there's a lot of where I live in Toronto, Canada, there's 4,000 people who identify as comedians, right? Okay. Only a handful have had the surgery, but I've been through the surgery, so I'm a full.
Excellent.
I've had bottom and top.
I know it. Second City was fun then.
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, it just opened my eyes to something I hadn't considered. I shouldn't say I hadn't considered. I've always wanted to do something like this, but it just I don't know if I had the structure down or had kind of figured out if it was possible. And then once I had done it once, it's you want to keep going.
Right. And is the writing part still as fun for you now?
I don't know that it's ever been fun.
Oh, okay.
It's like taking a shit.
Okay.
So it's not pleasurable.
Right.
And you need to get it out of you.
Yes, correct. Yes, better out than in.
And sometimes it stinks, and sometimes it's amazing.
Absolutely. And you get up, and you're so happy and satisfied with what you've done.
Right.
Sometimes I bleed. Because I'm 51,
Did you do open mics?
I did it for a little while, but it's not really my jam. I'm not a fan of the open mic.
Okay. Do you still do stand-up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the time.
All the time. Okay.
All the time. Yeah, Toronto has a vibrant and sketchy comedy scene.
Vibrant and sketchy.
Yeah,
Sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah. There's an article going around right now about this place called Keys Comedy Club in Toronto, and it's like you have to go down an alley, up a fire escape, and then it's like it's a bedroom in a house that's like it's a commercial house. You know how they convert some houses to commercial space?
Right.
It's a commercial space house, but it's the top room or the second, third floor room or whatever in this house. That's like a doctor's office downstairs, and at night it's a comedy club. And it's like, you know, it's sketchy, but it's become this hot spot because it's so sketchy. Everybody's like, oh, you gotta go there. It's the thing. It's the place, you know. And so there's like, there's every, you know, and then there's like, you know, theaters and everywhere in between.
Wow.
So for 4,000 comics, they all have somewhere to try and get a spot.
Right.
It's kind of fun, and I like to go both. I like to go both ways. I go.
Yep, there it is.
You know, I like it sketchy.
Mark does too.
And dirty. And do you, Mark?
Well, my motto is: a man whose door swings both ways never goes home alone. I'm joking. I'm seeing it cooking there, Brad. Go ahead.
I like it.
But I don't have a Porsche.
Me neither. It was just it's a metaphorical Porsche.
AKA a white panel van.
That's right.
So did you have like a day job? I'm thinking at first this must have been hard to make ends meet. True?
I didn't. Well, I haven't had a job since I was like 24. I've had my own business.
Oh, excellent.
So I owned my own business, which I sold. I've always done okay money wise, so it wasn't a struggle. I kind of decided to do it and had enough money to make the leap. And right. I gave myself, you know, a year to like get to a place. Like, to me, I treated it like a business. So I gave myself a year. I'm like, if I can't get to a place where I'm earning a decent income within the year, I'll, you know, scrap and figure out where to go from there. Mm-hmm. And I did it through, you know, self-publishing books, and within, I think, 9 months, it was cooking. So, you know, I was like, awesome. Okay, there's something here. And now I'm 5.5 years in, and, you know, there's something here.
And you have a lot that you're doing. I went to Vector Tunes, and I loved Vector Tunes. You want to talk a little bit about Vector Tunes?
That's the business that I sold. It's no longer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no longer there. The company that bought it just bought the art catalog. So they shut down the website, and it was, I can't say who bought it, but it was a bigger company that bought it, so they could implement we had like 3 million images, cartoon images, and they bought the catalog and integrated into their own catalog, and so vectortunes.com is no longer, but that was the business that I had running for several years before being a comedian.
And I did see your book on marketing, and I didn't like go through it, but it looks like a fun read. And you had, I found it on something called expertfile.com, I think it was. And that's part of your history as well, true? Yeah,
that's the first book I wrote, yeah.
It's the first book you wrote, okay. And I also found bradz.com.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff on Bradz. I read several articles, had a great time doing that. Recommend it to anybody who is listening. Bradz.com is full of very interesting news articles and news like reporting from Brad. And I also in that group saw that you had made a game, and that just cracked me up. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, another comedian in Toronto, Jay Rainville, approached me with an idea for a game that he wanted to create called, we didn't have a name for it at the time, but we called it Identity War. And basically the object of the game is to collect enough, protected groups or minorities to become invincible. So, you're gay, black, and disabled. Now you can't be, nobody can mess with you. You win the game.
And I think I saw another one like middle-age bingo or something like that.
Midlife crisis. Why you've really.
That's it. Yeah.
We have filed.
I feel a little violated right now. Midlife crisis bingo.
Yes, that's it.
I get these ideas and I just have to shit them out, like we talked about earlier.
Back to the poop.
Some of them just don't. Some of them don't even like. I invented a math game 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to figure out how to launch that without putting my name on it. But like, I have ideas.
Yeah.
My brain is like it's like it's a dark place, but
Okay.
it's like it's a dark place where things are constantly happening, and I feel like once something is born here, I have to make it real, even if it sucks, even if it's like, okay, that was a waste of my time. I have to find out if it was. I don't know. I can't tell.
Right.
I can't tell the good stuff from the bad stuff.
Until you go play.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you have to feed it to the world and let them tell you if it's shit.
Right.
And then if it's shit, it just kind of it becomes a midlife crisis bingo. Nobody bought it. I don't know, 5 people bought it or 50. I don't know, not enough to be on the radar. But it was, I had to do it. It was like I had to get it out.
I love that. It's like you had a need to write, to create, and then to follow it up with some kind of action that would make that idea real.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's right.
I love it. That to me is like the essence of the creative process. And even though writing isn't fun, I try to do some writing myself. And it's not easy. Writing is not an easy activity. But it's really, like you said, when I'm done writing, and I get up from the toilet and I've taken my shit, I'm really glad that I sat down and wrote. Even though I may come back later and change what I wrote, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, you're proud of what you made.
Exactly.
So proud he put a flag in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I also wondered, like, as you were beginning, and maybe this is still true, or maybe not at all, who knows, but like, did you like watch other stand-up, other comedians? Did you find anybody that you admired, or like,
Sure,
what
yeah.
that person's doing? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I've always loved comedy. Even when I travel, I usually go to comedy clubs. I liked comedy when it wasn't cool. Like I liked it, 20 years ago when nobody was going to comedy shows for whatever reason. It went through this kind of down phase.
Okay.
And I would still go. Like I liked it so much. I would go. I'd go to Vegas. I'd always go to the Laugh Factory or whatever. I always go to these places and experience it. I always enjoyed it. So yeah, it was always something. Like every year I'd go see somebody at least, and
Wow.
So sometimes more often than that, especially if I was traveling a lot, I'd go, several times a year. But it's always been something, and I watch most Netflix specials, even if I shut them off halfway through. Like, I try to watch the comedy that I like, and I have a handful of favorite comics, and they I believe are influential on me, but I also have my own unique style that nobody else has.
Absolutely right. Yeah. You are yourself.
That's right. Yeah. Mr. Rogers over here.
We're so proud of you.
You are yourself, and there's nobody like you.
That's right.
You're special.
And your humor for your books just is so unique. It's part of that uniqueness, man. Where were you when that idea came? It was like, how did your first book happen?
The idea came. It started with an idea for like. So the original idea was I was making these TikTok videos and I was trying to come up with stuff that I thought was funny. And one of the first things I did was, I would say my name is Brad Gosse. I write books for children, but my publisher keeps rejecting them. and then I had a graphic design chops, right? So I would create these book covers. It was just the cover. I'd say, why do you think my publisher rejected this one? And it was Why Daddy Hits Mommy, right? And so the audience was like, duh. But then a lot of people were like, hey, where's this book? Can you read it to us? And I hadn't written. I just made a cut. The whole joke was there. That was it.
Right.
It was a fake thing.
Wow.
And then the audience was so big on the fake thing, and the requests were so large for the real thing.
Yes.
I was like, okay, there's something here, and so then I figured out, okay, I got to next iteration is I got to publish this as a book, and then make it available for them to buy, and so I went through that process, and then then that went viral, and that started to sell books, and I was like, okay, I have a formula now. And I'm very formulaic. So if something, if I can make $1 doing this thing, I'll do it. That'll be all I focus on.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what happened. It was, the book sold, and I made more, and I made more, and I made more, and here we are, 160 plus books in.
Whoa.
And no sign of stopping. I just submitted another book today. My newest book is called Polish It Everywhere.
Like a fine turd.
It's for everybody named Paula.
Oh.
And you're still writing, obviously. Is
all the time.
that something that you do by appointment? Like, do you set up yourself to write every day? Do you do it when it's spontaneous? How's that work?
I don't like appointments. This getting here was a chore.
Gotcha, bro.
I make one appointment a day if I'm lucky.
Awesome.
And that my whole day revolves around that appointment. Like yesterday, my new MacBook came. I spent the whole day refreshing UPS, waiting for it to show up. And I was just like, this is my whole fucking day waiting for this MacBook to get here. And so I don't. I tried that, but my brain doesn't work like that. Again, it's like, do you schedule your shits?
Yes, right. Exactly. Yes. Thank you. I tried doing it that way too. It didn't work for me either. I write when it's time to write. I shit when it's time to shit. That kind of reality.
Exactly. Yeah, it comes out of you when it comes out of you, and you cannot control it. And
That's right.
Sometimes it gets stuck.
Yes, absolutely right. Sometimes.
You see how this analogy just holds up in every way, And the funny thing is, I've never used it before, but now I'm going to use it all the time because it's just it holds up in every way. Like, I could back it up with just so many great comparisons.
I'm thinking along the way, tell me if I'm wrong, that somewhere along the way you had like a worst gig. True?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had several.
Several. What are those like?
Pick a category.
Category, okay. I'll let you choose, bro. If you could share one of or two of those stories, that'd be great. Because I've heard some of this to develop. You're going to end up doing comedy in places that are just not nice to you.
Sure, yeah. The Toronto is it's a slot machine of audience. Sometimes you get like a woke crowd that just can't handle any white guy mentioning race at all, and then sometimes you get this crowd of offended people, and sometimes they ask. Okay, here's one. So they asked me to do this show. And I'd never been back. So that's how bad it was, right? They never. And this wasn't bombing. This was just like, and I'm doing the commentary and out loud as it's happening because it's going so badly. And I'm like, so they said, listen, we're doing a thing. There's going to be 9 comics, and it's a competition. And I hate anytime they say it's a competition. If you're a comedian, just fucking run. Run. Don't look back. You don't need to compete. There's no competition. There's no winning in comedy. We're all winners.
Yeah.
We're all winners. right?
Thank you.
And we're all fucking losers. So at the end of the day, like, do you know what I mean? So I go and I'm like, okay. And the guy's like, so your category, and this it gets even worse when they're like, your category. Like, the only time this categories isn't a roast, they're like, your category is dark humor. We need you to bring your darkest stuff. I'm like, I got this. I am the guy for this.
So was you a little bit too dark?
So I show up and they're put the comics on, and the other comic that's doing the dark humor is joking about, his dead dad or something. I can't remember. It was just, some regular dark humor kind of, death kind of stuff. And so I brought books, of course, right? So I come out and I'm like, so the first book I held up was called Pedo Clown Can't Catch a Break. And I'm reading it, and the audience is not having it. They're having, like, there was a bridal shower, you know what I mean? There was, like, I had the wrong people. And my friend Jay, who created Identity War, was hosting the show.
Oh my!
And so he's in the back dying laughing at me failing, because he's never seen this before. And I'm like, and I'm flipping pages. I'm telling the audience, look, this is going to get worse, and they're groaning, and I'm like, read the room, Gosse. You need to shut this down. Like, I'm telling, what's going on in my head is coming out of my mouth, and I'm like saying this stuff, and all the comics are laughing, and the audience, some people get up and they leave.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I just
category dark humor.
No, it was just me and this other comic, right?
Okay.
But his jokes weren't like, we had different ideas of what dark means. So it just went off, went off the rail. And then I finished, and I went and sat in the back, and then Jay comes back on stage, and he's like, he's doing his kind of in between hosting thing, and the people who walked out came back in.
Oh my!
And he said to them, "Did you walk out because of the pedophile clown?" And they were like, "Yeah, that's why we left." And that was like the best and worst thing, because it was like, I felt awesome knowing that was the first time I walked a couple. Like, I walked people out. That's to me, that's a win.
That's powerful.
But they never asked me back to that club. They were like, "Do not come. We're done here." But it's fine. It's on the other side of town. It's far.
Yeah,
I'm happy with it. I'm okay with it.
You don't need them.
No, I don't need them.
You're better than that, Brad.
Yeah,
that's a powerful story, man. On the
Very
other
powerful.
end, what about a best gig?
Probably. I've done a few in the last year. I had a couple really good ones. I'd won a headlined at Yuck Yucks in Toronto. That was a huge, was a sold out show. Went really, really well. And then another one at Backroom Comedy Club. Again, big show. I really enjoy it when friends and family come.
Oh,
I didn't think I didn't ask them to in the beginning. I was kind of like, don't come. I'm working it out. Let's figure out what this is going to look like before I start inviting you to watch me do open mics or whatever. So but once I got them to come, and once they started coming, and it was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I got, these friends are here tonight, or my dad's here, or whatever. Yeah. It's like kind of fun to have that group, because now I'm like just performing for them in my mind, right? And it's easier.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like, so like, is there ever stage fright?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I shouldn't say no, but it's not. I like it. Like, I have I like the attention.
Oh.
So I'm not wired like that way. I'm more wired to be like, it's more of like an excitement
Yes.
than a fright.
Yes.
It's like I'm not afraid to go out. I might be like when I'm home and it's snowing, I might be afraid to go outside and drive to the club. But when I get there, I'm not afraid to go on. I might have that feeling, but it's more like can't wait to go on.
Yeah. You're eager. And
Yeah, and ego.
And ego. Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Have a very similar experience when I do public speaking. I'm not really afraid to do it, but I am excited to do it. Again,
Right.
it's an opportunity to express myself, and having some connection and impact on people is really cool. Sinking under the weight of it all. Let's see. I know this. When you described your dark side being different from the other comedians' dark side, and yours is at another level, shall we say? There's this almost mythology about how many comedians have a dark side, and so we're a mental health, partly in law enforcement, first responder, mental health podcast. So we talk about depression a lot. So have there been times when you battle with that?
I don't. I don't. It's. I mean, I could see that it could be there. It feels like it's not far. You know what I mean? It's in the rearview mirror, but the objects are closer than they appear.
Yes, right.
So you're
if that makes
Jeep at Jurassic Park, is what you're telling me.
does that make sense? Does that am I?
I love that
Okay.
description, man. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. And for those of us, I don't know, my vote absolutely for self. Me and depression have a long history, and I kind of always feel that way too. That it's not, it's in the car, but it's not driving anything, and it's not navigating anything.
Yeah, it's backseat driving.
Yeah, and maybe in the trunk, when I get really inspired, but it's always close at hand. And there is I don't know, maybe this is different for you, but like there's almost a sense of I appreciate it being there. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
No, I don't know. I don't know if, but maybe because you're closer to it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like I don't want it. It's like, the when they say, would you take $1 billion, but there's a slug that chases you through the world, and you know that have you heard that?
No.
Right?
Really take the slug chasing me for a bill.
The deal from the devil is you take $1 billion, but there's a slug that chases you around the world. You can't kill it. You can't monitor it. You can't have somebody follow it, but it's constantly hunting you down, and if it touches you, you die, and you never know where it is, and you kind of you're always running from it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it feels to me. So it's like, do I want it there? No.
Yes.
If I could kill the slug, I'd kill the slug.
Gotcha. It has given you something, though. True.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I feel like, I had like kind of a dark childhood, so that's probably where that comes from. But
right.
Like my ability to laugh at it is greater than it bringing me down or kind of affecting me in any negative way.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's made you grow stronger. I feel a lot that my periods of depression have made me appreciate life a lot more. It made me stronger, so when they start to happen, I know what to do now. I don't really want.
So men really do have periods, is what you're telling me.
That's right.
I know.
They're looking at
I
one
felt
another.
like a kid laughing, like giggling about Dr. David's period.
I was see how that worked?
I love it.
Sorry, Dr. David.
So what you're really saying is, you are fully transitioned.
Yes. Do you have any goals? This is one more thing I want to add to the stuff that I do that's funny.
Probably got goals out the ass.
Goals out the ass. Oh my God.
I got goals for days.
Oh,
you know?
Like very rectum focused podcast.
You asked for the dark, I brought the brown.
Whole bottom over here.
You're right.
Have you thought about acting, for example?
Maybe not. That wouldn't probably be for me, but definitely, bigger audiences, more stand-up, more books.
Okay.
I'd love to have a Netflix special. I'd love to have, a Porsche. No, I'm kidding.
Not just
like more of what I'm already doing, but bigger.
Right.
And like I have like 100 books left in me, at least. So I've done 160. I do like 2-3 books a month. That's not going to stop. I also want, I want to do some other types of books, like more sort of, not just the children's book style, but some other things that will pop up along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got big goals.
I can see you writing a screenplay.
I don't know if I could go that far. I could probably work with somebody who does.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know that I have a 10th grade education, so my level of writing is I'm right at the peak right now. You know what I mean? Like the children's book style, the dirty limericks is about the best I can do. So I would need to bring in someone who knew how to structure a story arc and all that. I don't know any of that shit.
Yeah.
Like I just don't, what I mean? I don't have that formal understanding, and I would need someone to guide me through it and, not ghostwrite it, but collaborate to a point where, I could be the guy who takes mushrooms and they could be the one with the typewriter.
Yes.
But Brad, couldn't you just make a whole movie about every single book? It'd be like a movie with 160 plus short stories in it.
It could be,
laugh
yeah.
your ass off the whole time.
Or I always thought like putting a bunch of the characters together in like a South Park multiverse kind of style.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that has some fun, and I've tried it a little bit. Like we did a couple shows on YouTube called Brad's Apartment, where it's like me. Like I have a Becky the Throat Goat puppet.
Yes.
So she came in. I had a Cucumber Curtis puppet. Cucumber Curtis is he's the plant-based sex toy. And the big black hawk was in it, and everybody kind of had a role.
Yeah.
And the Clip Clop, the racist horse cop, they're all kind of in it. And
What?
You got the Brad's catalog.
Yes.
you don't know about the racist horse cop?
I will learn. I will learn.
He's on paid leave right now. But,
Imagine it's about to be unpaid, right, Sarge?
Right.
yeah.
I love the idea of getting your characters together in some kind of story and playing that out. It is very South Parky.
That's my
And
attention.
repeatable.
Just
Right.
small
Mine
little
too.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Small stories.
Same.
Very cool.
I'm with you. I have the attention span of a broccoli.
I just learned that broccoli's man-made. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. This is GMO, is what you're telling
No,
me.
it's not. No, but
Oh.
it didn't grow naturally. We had to
Oh,
back in the Roman Empire.
splice it together.
I'm growing a garden in the spring, so
Oh,
useless.
so you're learning broccoli facts?
Yeah.
That's funny.
What could be more fun, When you travel, do you take your wife and kids with you?
No.
Pretty quick.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Not happening.
No, there's none of that.
And you said you like having your family come to your shows. That would be obviously around Toronto then?
Yeah.
And does your wife come to your shows?
Well, that's No. No. No.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at your freak off party.
Oh, that's a good one.
Freak
Yeah.
off party book.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, I'm
Are you tapped out, David?
I'm good.
All right, cool.
Good. Yeah.
Here. Funny.
I thought you found way more skeletons. I'm quite happy, actually.
Well, I chose not to enter into one of them on purpose. I looked on the expert file site, and there was a little bio on you there, including your involvement in the pornography
You can say
business.
it. Yeah, you can say it. I have no shame here.
Good for you.
There's no
Good
shame.
for you. And I was like, was the comedy thing developing while you were in that business?
Yeah, it's been there the whole time.
Been there the whole. So like, does that go back to like childhood? Were you like the class clown kind of guy?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Teachers loved you.
No.
No, the teachers don't like class clowns.
Yeah.
It went from little Johnny to Brad,
A
huh?
lot of suspensions. I actually have been. I was expelled from school in grade 6. Suspended multiple times, but literally expelled to another school.
Whoa.
I feel like it was hard to get expelled back then.
It was not easy. But when I
You
I'm
said you had goals.
So like now you get expelled
Yeah.
for anything, but like
yeah. Back then
Back
you could
then.
do anything, like hard R-N words, whatever. You got away with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like but I'm Gen X, right? So when I went to school, like when I would have started school in like the late 70s. I think I was in kindergarten in 1979. So that's like right after, right? There's a you have to look at like how these timelines work, right? Because teachers now are different, right?
Yeah.
Like when someone says they're a teacher, people are pretty much treat you like you're a military service person, and they're like, "Thank you for your service,"
Right.
you know. And oh my God, I'm a teacher. It's just you're so special and wonderful, and we need to, shower you with compliments and gifts and tell you how we couldn't do that job. All these other things. So, but when I was a kid, right, teachers were garbage. Like they were horrible people, and like you didn't do it. It's true. You didn't do it back then because you loved kids. You did it back then for the check. Mm-hmm. And in 1979, when I started school, you know what had just happened to teachers?
No.
They were told they couldn't hit us anymore.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That was a
so
little
I came
later
to
in the States.
when I got to school, it was like right at the beginning of the no hitting time.
Okay.
And so you have these like angry old ladies, because it was mostly old ladies back then. Like male teachers were like male nurses back then. Nobody was really, like people were like, "Ooh, don't, that's not a man's job. That's a lady's job."
Right.
And so it was all like old crotchety old ladies who were they were literally just they took the rulers out of their hands and said, you can't hit them with the ruler anymore. You can't strike the child. You have to reason with the child. And they just had meltdowns, right? So like from that point, and for my formative years in school, all the teachers were angry, like pent up anger and frustration because they just couldn't take it out on us the way they used to. So,
But that didn't stop you.
well, that just made it easier, right? Because now I'm like, you can't touch me, and I know you can't touch me. I'm going to provoke you.
so they were like, get out.
Yeah, it's like I can touch your file. That's what I can.
I love it. How did you get into the porn business?
What?
Money.
I missed that part.
She totally missed that.
Over that part. Wow. Back up, everybody. Beep. Beep.
I thought you were kidding, Dr. David. He answered it like, oh, well, let me tell you.
He slipped it in.
Okay.
It's a good way of getting into it.
That's the only way. The only way. Slip it in the back door.
Again, the rectum. What kind of porn did you do?
All kinds. I do not discriminate. I was in the technology side of the business, very not making it. You know what I mean? Like
You
like
weren't an actor or a
it.
cameraman. You were in the production side of it.
Yeah, I ran websites, and it was a very geeky kind of thing, but it was like easy money. So
Okay.
I mean, I picked the low hanging fruit, Dave.
Diddy? Was that your Diddy book?
I mean, that's definitely low hanging fruit. You nailed it. Sometimes the universe just gives you stuff. You're like, I gotta
Accept the gifts you're given.
Right.
I have to use this, like Uncle Jeff's Island. You know what I mean? It was like I had to bring it in.
I didn't see that.
It's a good one. It's a banger.
I'm hoping to see Dr. David gets his period. I think that'd be a good one too.
You just call it Daddy's period.
That's right. Daddy's period blood.
In black and white.
This is
Jeez.
so artistic.
Yeah. Artsy black and white. That's funny.
The only way to do black and white.
Exactly. Bro.
Bro.
I don't want to get in the way of Marc and Donnie and Kelly.
You're not aware at all. How long do we have you for, Brad?
As long as you want. I mean,
All right, cool. Because we'd like to
you
do
gotta
is
you gotta pay my pimp at the end, but
that's right. This shit ain't free.
No.
Everybody pays.
Lamont is on his way. So
That's right. Well, Donnie's paying this round, so
That works.
Are you in a hotel room, Donnie?
I am.
is that the midget I keep hearing in the background?
There. It's only hitting the desk currently.
good girl.
That's right.
So, Brad, of your books, which one is your favorite?
It depends. So, like, Mike Hunt is my favorite because it sold the most.
Is that right?
So it's my favorite because it made my life better. But then, like, Becky the Throat Goat is one of my favorites because she's like a fun character.
Yeah.
I turned her into a puppet, and she's just put out a second book called Sausage Fest for her. So she's kind of fun because she's a recurring character. But I also like Race Wars. I like the racist books. Like, I like My Racist Gran. Says We Still Can't Trust the Japs. I like My Racist Dog Only Trusts the Whites. I like Rumple Foreskin a lot.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think of what else. Those are kind of those stand out right now. But it changes, like I also get super excited every time a new one comes out. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be the next,
Awesome.
polish it. It's going to be the one, and then it's like, okay, you don't know until you do it. Like I said, right? So
Right.
I get excited about each one, but then after time, I'm like, okay, I like these particular ones for different reasons. But I think Becky's my favorite just because it's like, people pick it a lot when I do like crowd content.
Mm-hmm.
People pick it when I do Omegle kind of stuff. There's like it has a fun vibe to it, and it doesn't seem to like upset too many people. And then I have another favorite that upsets people, and it's my favorite. It's a favorite that upsets people. It's called Mom and Dad's Swinger Party. And
That one's funny.
that one's my favorite because it made, like, that's the one that gets me death threats. That's the one, like, I get literal death threats.
Whoa.
No joke. If you look at I used to post them on Instagram, but then Instagram is funny. Someone will leave a comment, like I've literally had people say, "I'm coming to your next show and I'm going to bludgeon you with a shovel." Those exact words.
Wow.
And then I report the comment to Instagram for
Right.
violence. And they're like, no, it doesn't violate our community guidelines.
Isn't that funny?
So then I screenshot the comment and I post it to my Instagram, and they're like, we've taken this down for bullying. What did happen? This is what I'm dealing with. And then Zuck comes on with his gold chain and he's like, yo, I'm going to make it easier. No, you're not. Fucking asshole. So I get real death threats, and most of them come from the Swinger Party book because I've learned, right, there's certain things that trigger people, and one of them is bringing another couple into the bed. Apparently that just makes people lose their minds, and wow, and then they're like, oh, he's targeting children. He wants children to learn about swinging before they understand what it all implies. Oh my God. And he's targeting them with these books. And then I'm like, why would I target your children? They're broke. They don't have Amazon Prime. They don't have an American Express card. They can't help me. I'm targeting you, and if you're dumb enough to buy it for your kids, then go buy it. I don't care what you do with it. And they're like, oh, people will use it to groom children. I'm like, people use vans to groom children. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't. The groomer's not going to stop because I wrote, or you're not going to find more groomers because I wrote a book.
Right.
You're not going to find more groomers because you put no windows on the van. Like, it doesn't change anything.
Right. Exactly.
But they're like, no, you're responsible. They want you to. They want to make you the enemy. And even when they find out later, when someone says, no, did you look? He's a comedian. He does this. And they're like, I don't care, and they have to dig their heels in and fight the grooming industrial complex.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So swingers is a bad thing, but dead babies is okay.
Totally.
That's what I don't get.
Nobody's Donnie, thank you. Nobody's ever gotten mad about that.
Dead babies 1 through 9 or whatever, and we're worried about a swinger.
Dead babies volume.
I know.
And a coloring book. Nobody cares about the dead babies, but they care about the grooming, the swinging, and the baby. Like, it's nobody even cares about pedo clown. Nobody cares about the pedophile clown.
No, two people did.
Actual, right? The bridesmaids definitely care. But yeah, like, nobody cares about those topics. But then when you tell somebody, hey, imagine you had another couple in your bed, that's when it makes them a little crazy. For whatever reason, and that book has targeted a group of people who just are so dumb that there's like when you asked about the porn business, I've always kind of been in it because now I'm in the outrage porn business. I'm still in it.
So did they get just as mad? Like where what's your cuck book you got out, and then you got to mom and dad runs trains on the weekend, or mom runs trains on the weekend with the dad's friends.
It's all about the Swinger Party.
So weird.
I don't know. People, what happens is someone will reframe it, right? They'll take the book and they'll say, this is in the library, or they'll put some headline with it. Right, that triggers the the kooks out there that are just like, they believe the headline some rando on Twitter put on it, and now I got to be mad about this, right?
Wow.
And so if you go and look at Mom and Dad's Swinger Party on Amazon,
the
reviews the reviews are horrible. Like, go read the 1-star reviews right now. I'm telling you, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. If you click on the Amazon USA, it'll take you to the page on Amazon. You look at the reviews.
I typed in Mom and Dad's, and it was the first thing that popped up.
There you go. Right. I mean, they're just like, Amazon's coming for your children.
No, just no.
No, just no. Yeah, that's one of them.
Wow.
The reviews. Here we go. Did you find them, Kelly?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you read.
Not funny, not appropriate.
Well,
I do not recommend this book.
Leah gave it 5 stars. She says, "I love this book. It's super fun, full of dark humor, and double entendres.
That's me. I'm the double entendre man.
Yeah,
Oh God, Brandy
Brandy
wrote,
Harris.
Great way to teach the young ones about this lifestyle. I love that it's short, simple, and to the point. The kids love the drawings. I think it's helped them understand. Next, I need to get his book, Mom, Dad, and Chad.
Yep.
I don't think that was the meaning of the book. I don't think you meant for that.
Like, so many people will commit to the bit with me, right? So sometimes what I'll do is people will say, you know, are you really targeting children with this? And then I'll be like, just toddlers. Just toddlers, right? Or like the one guy that tweeted it recently, he tweeted it out and he was like, you know, this guy's targeting the children and this is a disgrace and this is what they always blame the left or the right, you know, it's one or the other. You know, it's either this is what free speech gets you or this is what left policies get you. You know, they always kind of go to one extreme. And then he tweeted it. And so I responded to the tweet and I said, thanks. Now I can reach even more children. You double down with these people, right? It's the only way. You have to steer into the skid. You know what I mean? You gotta
Don't resist it. Yes.
No, exactly.
Raymond Johnson. Odd choice of humor. It's like, what do you mean, Ray?
Raymond Johnson.
He wanted knock-knock jokes is what he was looking for, right? This is not the category I'm used to.
Krishna says that, no. It says the author knows he can't say it's for children because there are laws here, so he found a way to target children without saying it's for children. But the author knows very well his intentions behind it all.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't mind as long as he's banking with those books.
Exactly. Children are great for sales. Children buy so much.
My card, he has unlimited Amazon access, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ooh, you're indoctrinating children.
This is. I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that these people actually think this is a kid's book.
Right.
I was looking for 0 stars, but 0 isn't available.
Wow. You got to give it one.
Our
You got to give it
future will
one.
not exist. Take it down.
Yeah, Teresa Brumley.
Jesus.
Ew,
This
why?
is garbage. I can't believe this is what we've come to.
This is child pornography. It's teaching children sex with multiple people. It's ugly. It's evil. It's not a children's book. Beware.
Yeah, correct.
Thank you, Gigi. 13 people
I've used these 1-star reviews to promote comedy shows. Like, I'll put those quotes on my comedy poster.
You know what's really
That works.
These people really truly think, like, they believe that you
Yeah,
do that for kids.
they're mad that I'm alive.
They're gonna get you with a shovel, I heard.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's like South Park. Like we talked about South Park earlier. Like, you don't let your children watch South Park.
No, it's not.
Right.
It's not for kids.
But even if you do, they won't get it. Like,
Right.
if I read Mom and Dad's Swinger Party to a 5-year-old, they would not understand any of it, because it's like there's a swing set. You know, they think that he just thinks the kids are on the swings, the parents are on the swing set with their friends.
Right.
They don't know what's really going. Like, it doesn't. Not that you would. I'm not saying you would. I'm saying you should.
Boy, am I glad I didn't drink for this episode.
I'm not glad. I wish you had been drunk.
Book burning until now.
It'd have been more fun if you did drink. I'm just saying.
Well, I'll go mix one up here real quick.
It'd have been cool if you did.
These are fun.
Right?
These are
The 1-star reviews make it. It's like you don't even realize you're helping me. So you know what it is? It's like when we were younger and they started putting the parental advisory labels on stuff.
Yeah.
That just sold more albums. You're just helping me sell. The outrage. The outrage just makes people want it more. They're like, oh, this pissed people off. I want to see what this is. These aren't verified purchasers. These are just strangers that came along from X. You know what I mean? They're just they don't really know.
And so
what do? Finish up watching Trailer Park Boys at home, and then like, hey, let's go read Brad's book after we're done. Get the kids to sleep.
I don't know.
I
that is a
am
good- that is a
dying
good show.
with what these people are saying.
What do you got?
Just
Read us a couple
all
there,
of them.
Kelly.
Oh,
Pick your favorite thing. Oh, yes. We're rated explicit.
shocking quality.
As in the hand gesture?
I thought this would be a proper book, but it's nothing more than thin paper magazine for a huge price. Don't waste your money.
Yeah, $10 is huge. Yeah.
That's what he was upset about, not the
$12
content.
is a lot of money.
Quality. Give you a 1 star for that. Oh my
book's
god.
A lot of money in Afghanistan.
That's right.
This one said they're very disappointed. I howled through 5 other books which had witty puns and humor. This one was flat and short. We closed it and said so much potential that sucked. That's an honest review, Brad. That one would
That is
hurt.
honest.
That one should
That is
hurt your
honest.
feelings.
Sometimes I phone it in. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I phone it in.
Oh, shame on.
So if you're ever needing help, we have Dr. David here.
I try to catch him in between his periods of depression.
That's right.
Periods of depression. Doesn't matter what mom and dad does, don't bring the kids in. Yeah, that would be illegal. That's illegal there. Sin girl.
Yeah.
What a fitting name.
Send girl.
Those are fun. I can't wait to
those are-
buy the racist dog one because I have a dog that only it's very favorable to white folks.
Oh, my God. This has been fun.
This it is.
Donnie, what do you got for us?
Oh, brother, I don't know. I'll be here in Illinois. I'm just doing my thing.
Oh, okay.
Why are you in a hotel? Are you
For traveling for work.
to catch a predator, or what's going on?
I'm trying.
You
Well, actually, I'm hoping I don't get caught.
you pulling a Chris Hansen in Illinois and baiting,
Yes.
pretending to be a 13-year-old girl on the internet, or what?
Yes.
What's going on there?
Playing Mbop and all that shit.
Bop.
You're not there filming, Brad? What the heck? It's your appointment.
I tried to get him, but he had this today.
That's all you get. One appointment.
That's right, man.
Well, you got to be prepared. We prepared for this for, what, a month
Right.
to get
Yeah.
this thing done.
Yeah.
But we're really excited. David,
Yeah.
what else do you got for us?
I would just recommend to people that you go spend some time with Brad Gosse. I didn't even start into the dad's advice thing, which is probably my favorite material of yours. The dad
you like that?
I love that stuff. We have a whole tradition here of dad jokes and appreciate that kind of humor, and I loved the dad advice. I thought there was a lot of stuff that cracked me up with that whole material. That was my
I'm
favorite.
glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. I like to help the youth.
Yes, obviously. As your children books make it very clear.
Kelly, what you got for us?
Nothing. Actually, I did have something. I know, Dr. David, and we got to wrap up here, but Brad, do you have like a fun law enforcement story? Have you ever had like a fun encounter with a cop or a fireman?
Yeah.
Great, thanks. Go ahead,
I
Sarge.
have a few. How deep are we going here? Okay. I got it.
Balls deep.
I got to go for you. You remember how I told you I got expelled in 6th grade?
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, one of the things that led up to the expulsion. Oh my God, you're gonna love this story. So, I grew up in a town. The sister city, the twin sister city of the city that I grew up in was Flint, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If that tells you anything
As in the Netflix
about,
series.
Yeah.
about how shitty the town is that I grew up in. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you can get a picture of this. So when I was in 6th grade, another kid started a rumor that I was a cocaine dealer. Now,
9 years
I
old.
said
In
this.
6th grade.
I was 11
Oh, okay.
or 10, maybe 10 or 11, right?
You'll be my little friend.
But in that town, at that school, that was possible.
Oh my!
I want to make sure everybody understands. This is like the story sounds crazy until I explain to you that I lived in a shitty place where that was possible. Okay, but I wasn't.
Nice.
Right.
But I watched Miami Vice like most kids, you know. And so the rumor got around the school for a couple weeks or whatever, and everybody was whispering around me, and I was cool with it because I was getting this like badass reputation. I'm like, that was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So one day I come to school, and the kid from the 8th grade, the oldest grade at my school, he's a bully, and he comes up to me and he's like, "I heard you're a cocaine dealer." And I said, "Yeah." And he's like,
You admitted to
"Come on, I'm 11. Let's remember that." Slightly less developed. So he's like, "Give me some." And I'm like, "Well, I don't have it." And he's like, I'm gonna get you after lunch. You better give me some or I'm gonna beat your ass." Okay. So I go home for lunch. I live across the street from the school. And I got a Ziploc bag my mom wasn't home. I got a Ziploc bag, and I found the flour and the sugar, and I put a little bag of white powder inside the inside pocket of my knockoff Michael Jackson Thriller jacket. Yeah.
Love it.
I go to school, and this kid, his name was Link. He approaches me, and he's like, "Where is it?" So I reach in my pocket and I pull out a bag of white powder. And his face goes white. He was not expecting this interaction to happen. He thought, I'm going to prove this is false. Now I've scared him. And he doesn't take the bag. He runs away. So I'm like, I'm a genius. I put this back in my pocket. I'm like, power of the mind, Brad. Power of the mind. So then I take off the jacket, put it in my locker. Fake cocaine is in the jacket, in the locker. And I go to class. And the teacher comes. I hear out in the hallway my geography teacher's in the class. Out in the hallway, I can hear footsteps and a police radio in the distance, like unmistakable sound of the dispatcher.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're coming, and I can hear them coming, and then I hear my principal's voice. His name was Mr. Cranberry, and he says, "Is Brad Gosse here?" And my teacher says, "Yes." And he says, "Can he tell him to pack up his stuff and come out to the hall?" So I go into the hall, and there's a uniformed police officer standing there, and my principal. And I already know what's going on. I know why he's here, right? I'm not like, "Oh, what's he doing here?" I know what's going on. I'm wise enough to understand why there's a cop in front of me, and I'm thinking, "You're gonna love this," to the cop. I'm like, "This is going to be the funniest thing that happened to you all day." That's what I'm thinking. You're going to love this Three's Company level misunderstanding that's happening right now. And so I go out, and I'm like, "Oh, he's like, "Where's your locker?" I'm like, "I know why you're here," and he pushes me. I go, "Well, this is back when they did that, right? They give you a little push."
Teachers aren't allowed, but cops can.
The cop can totally push you. So I go from "you're gonna love this" to crying now, right? And he pushes me down the hall, and as he's pushing me down the hall, like I'm walking, I'm crying, I'm going too slow. It gives me another push. I cry more. This is how this is happening, right? Mm-hmm. And then the bell rings, and all the classes are changing now. So now I'm walking down the hall in front of my entire school with this cop pushing me down the hall. Go to my locker. I reach right in. I'm like, and he's like, "Nope," pulls me away from the locker, and he's got to do his thing. And I said, "It's in my inside pocket of my jacket." He pulls it out, and all these kids are walking by, watching this happen, right? And he takes me to the principal's office, and they're sitting there, and the whole time they're telling me all this bullshit, like, having fake cocaine is the same as robbing a bank with a fake gun. I'm like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? These are the things they're telling my grade 6 brain, right? And so there was this whole thing, and I'm like, and so guess what I said? I said, look, it's not real. It's just flour and sugar. And I said, the funniest thing to me at the time it wasn't funny. I believed this to be, in my heart of hearts, I believed this to be police procedure. I was like, taste it. and he's like, we don't do that. I got to send it to the lab or whatever shit he said to me, right? I was like, okay, well, it's not real, you know. Send it to the lab, but I can already tell you what they're going to tell you. And he's like, you know, and they're treating me like this criminal, and they're like, you know, they never let up. And I explained to them what happened. I was like, look, I got bullied. Here's what happened. And at no point did they say to me, hey, you know, it was good. You didn't get your ass kicked. You did what was necessary to not get beat up.
Right,
I just got in trouble from everybody. I got in trouble from my parents. I got in trouble. Everybody was not cool. Nobody was like if my kid did that, I'd be like, you're a fucking genius. High five. All that matters is you didn't get your ass kicked. I don't care that the cops came to the school. I don't care. You know, none of that matters.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, it was right at the end of the school year, and they were like, you need to do this phonics workbook all summer long. This is what you're going to have. This is your punishment for this bad thing that you did. I was like, okay. So then I was like in my house most of the summer trying to work on this phonics thing, and then I was like, I'm not going to do this. Fuck them. And so I went back. When I went back the next year, they were like, we think you should go to another school. But I went for like a few months, and during that few months, right, when I came back, right, all the kids were like, he went to reform school. He went, you know, like, that kid's a bad kid. Watch out for him.
More street cred.
And right, so I just had this like badass reputation through school because of this like cop pushing me down the hall. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, you know, they're laughing at me because I'm crying, but they're just like, that kid's a badass, you know. Yep.
Good story.
There's your law enforcement story.
Well, it's absolutely a pleasure to have you on the show. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. It's bradgosse.com, correct?
That's right, yeah.
Get your books. All your books are on Amazon. Is there any booking site for our friends in Canada that may want to come see you?
It's just on bradgosse.com. I usually have a link to my latest live show. I don't have a link up right now because I don't have anything booked because I kind of take the winter off to write. But I think I'm doing a show in Kitchener on February 14th, so I'll probably have a link up to that soon. But yeah.
Valentine's Day show must be like the start of the comedy season, isn't it? Because I see a lot of comics got their kickoff on that weekend. But
yeah, a lot of people like to go to comedy on Valentine's Day to find out if they don't like their date.
Comedy clubs are good to go to. That's what we all do.
Yeah.
We all do one.
Go to the funny.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate.
It's a huge honor and a pleasure to have you on. Somebody's like, well, what's a comedian got to do with mental health? It's like laughter's the best medicine for everything.
Right.
You know, like we talk about here on the show. Sometimes you just got to get out of your headset, right? And you know, your books are freaking hilarious. My nephew loves Uncle Bob's Going to Show Me His Knob. I have a brother, Bob, so it was his Uncle Bob, so I gave it to my brother for Christmas.
Amazing.
They could not quit laughing. Now, my brother wasn't impressed, but we all thought it was funnier than hell. And of course, Dad's Pussy Magnet, that was Iron Trans Am. My other colleague has one too, so that's why.
Oh, that's why. I figured that's why you bought that one. He likes this one. There's a reason why.
That's right.
It's kind of like owning a Porsche, supposedly.
Yeah. If you're Burt Reynolds in 1977.
Very good. All right. Anything for the good of the order?
Very good. Thank you for being here. Go spend some time with Brad Gosse. Look at his
Bring
stuff.
money.
Bring money.
Play midlife crisis bingo. Be the only person on your block to have that game. And I love your stuff, bro. Thank you very much for being here, sir.
May your days and nights find you strong and safe. May you take your place as your family's face. As you do the shit that we won't do. As you embrace the risk you must go through. May you grow in strength and heal and find your heart, your soul, and your mind. You look at your life and grin. You have a home, the Sheild within.